This is Prosper Tomebound, and he's back for another go. Due to popular demand, I'm giving Prosper another chance. I know my last deck with him was kind of a disaster. This one this is an edited version of it. I threw together a version on Saturday. Worked fairly well. I know you can't see the glare. You're not helping. First off, all the madness stuff is gone. I got like one suspend card. Went absolutely haywire on mana sources because I'm going to need to cast things off the top of my deck as quick as possible. One of my problems with Prosper is when you hit something that's tubing to cast, it just goes into exile and it sits there and you never get it back. As far as other artifacts, a map, a bauble, some other things. Cranial plating. I tend to make a lot of artifacts. Might as well use it. I'm going to try to do my best to keep tabs on the top of my library. This isn't the only card I've got that lets me do that. But when you've got a top, might as well. And Grinning Totem lets me play somebody else's cards. Sometimes you don't have the thing you need, someone else does. Plus it'll trigger with him, right? The first revision of this is using Magda Brazen Outlaw, because she lets you sack 5 treasures to go for an artifact or a dragon card. And while it was neat, having a whole bunch of things you could just go for at once, I realized that a lot of them cost enough that if they came off the top of my library, I might not get to play them. So I kind of trimmed it down. Got it down to Graveshifter is indeed a dragon. Gadrak the Crown Surge, so he costs 3 for a 5/4 flying, but he can't attack unless you have 4 more artifacts. Shouldn't be a problem. And Hellkite Tyrant is a straight up win condition. If you have 20 artifacts in play, beginning of upkeep, you win. So at the end of someone's turn, if I've got heard enough stuff, flip, thump, game's done. That's the theory. Dream Devourer goes in again to let me foretell stuff that I might not be able to play now, but at least on the table they can't be bothered. Wild Magic Sorcerer gives my first spell from Exile Cascade. So I should be able to run into something else. Whole bunch of guys with Adventure, because their Adventures are still good cards, and they don't cost much. Treasures, Dockside Extortionist, and a Zorn. I finally managed to get one of these. It's a lot harder for me to get than I thought it was going to. Got Scion of Opulence from the 2021 Commander. Lets me sack 2 artifacts, exile the top card of my library, and play it. I should have enough artifacts. Italia Primal Storm and Breach's Brazen Plunderer let me play other people's cards. Again, this doesn't require cards in my hand or my deck, therefore I should get somewhere. Blood Aspirant, Jury Master of Review, and Mayhem Devil all care about sacrificing stuff. Mayhem Devil does 1 damage to any target when you sacrifice something. You can have a lot of treasures. Jury Master of the Review gets bigger when you sacrifice stuff, and when it dies, it does damage equal to its power to any target. Considering the amount of sacrifices we're making with artifacts, with treasures, that's a lot of punch there. And considering back here, we've got a Cranial Plating to double the pain. Not bad. And Blood Aspirant is a nice cheap little guy that gets a +1/+1 counter whenever you sack a permanent. You can also make things not block, but that's not really a concern here. Goblin Welder and Goblin Engineer will let us turn treasures into other artifacts, in case we want to get back, I don't know, say this Grinning Totem, or one of our mana rocks, or say a Junk Diver, or a Wormcoil Engine, or a Solemn Simulacrum, to use them over and over again. And of course the one in every deck, Brassman. Dream Whisperer lets you pay to have to surveil. This is another card for keeping track of the top of my library, and that's my furnace kicking in on me for no reason. Feign the Broker lets us do a lot of weird things with tokens, get stuff back, and I don't remember when I got a Guardian Beast, but this is the only deck he's been played in. For enchantments, Shadows of the Past lets me scry every time something dies for keeping track of the top of my library. Experimental Frenzy for if we run out of cards in hand, we can run off the top of the library. Valakut Exploration, Vance's Blasting Cannons, Outpost Siege, Theater of Horrors, and Stolen Strategy for playing as many cards off the top of our library or other people's as we can. I think that's where I went wrong last time. There's not enough stuff to roll off the top to do what I wanted it to do. Devetti is in here to let us draw cards and turn treasures back into other stuff. And then in here, we have the one card with Suspend, or Profane Tutor. Hurl Through Hell and Praetor's Grasp let us play other people's cards again. Throes of Chaos, Fevered Suspicion. Each have, he's got Cascade. He's got Rebound, so he'll trigger again. Surreal Memoir, because let's try to get that back. Poison the Cup has Foretell, and I realize you can't see a damn thing because of the light. Thanks a lot. And then round it out with a few just worthwhile spells. Trusted it through here at the table a couple times against the Goldfish. Worked a lot better than I thought it was going to. Hopefully in an actual live fire situation, it does what I want to this time. I know I wasn't good. I disrespected Prosper the last time. I know I shouldn't have done it. So we're going to give him another chance to do what he's meant to do. And provided I don't have to tear it apart again, maybe you won't see him again for a while because he'll be in a deck being played. Anyway, before my furnace kicks in, I have to make this quick. I will see you again in the future.